We're here talking energy efficient housing with Jane Kern from Bank Australia. Jane, what has a bank got to do with energy efficient housing?
Well, banks fund a lot of homes, and when we start to look to the future and for us, our customers' expectations around climate action, that's actually a really important place that we can be thinking about how we support customers to make change. We currently don't have a heap of great data on the homes that we finance, but we know that in order to meet the bank's net zero targets and to help our customers all transition towards running on all electric and low or no emissions energy, we've got a lot of work to do. And so for a bank, for us, we want to be starting to understand a lot more about the homes that we're actually funding and what customers can do to help make their homes more comfortable, save on their power bills and help take action on climate change.
So there's a proportion of your loan book that's made up of, I guess, green loans or green mortgages. What exactly is a green mortgage, and what are those consumers or those customers looking for when they sort of take that option?
Yeah, so a green mortgage tends to be a loan that incentivises customers for having a green home. So Bank Australia's Clean Energy Home Loan gives customers an interest rate discount if they are buying or building a new green home or making ambitious green upgrades to an existing home, because we know that existing building stock often needs a lot of work too. And so, essentially customers to qualify, they need to come and bring their evidence to us that their home is green. For a newer home, most customers are using their NATHER certificate, so demonstrating that their home, instead of the minimum under the construction code of 6 stars, they're demonstrating that their home is 7 stars or higher. And by providing that evidence, then we're classifying their property as green and giving them a discount on their mortgage. How
popular has that product been? Is it attracting a lot of interest from customers?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think we've been really pleased with the success of the product so far. We've been in market for around about 2 years, and we're getting close to having 2% of our loan book that is these clean energy home loans. I think we've been really pleased with the success of it so far. I think what's really interesting for us at Bank Australia is we've just set very ambitious climate targets. So we are aiming to transition not just the bank's operations, but also our portfolio, so including our mortgage portfolio, to net zero emissions by 2035. And so that means that the 2% of our book that is clean energy home loans is great, but we've got now a really big job ahead of us in terms of saying, well, if we're looking at the whole book and how we transform that, how can we get better data and how can we be supporting customers to make change?
Yeah, so just to be clear, you need to know effectively the energy efficiency rating of every house that you're financing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big challenge. How will you go about that? Are you sort of confident that we have the right tools in this country at the moment to allow you to get that done?
Look, I think we're on the right path for that. So to estimate our emissions and get our baseline at the moment, we've been working with not the best quality data ever. We know how many homes we finance, we know where they are, and we can work with average emissions. And that's a really good start because we know what a rough footprint there is and we know where we're starting from. But if we want to track change over time, as we start to do these interventions, we need to actually then know, what are the actual homes that we finance? So I think the foundations are there in terms of NATHERS and some of the changes coming down the line to things like NATHERS in terms of whole of home and understanding whether a home's using gas or electricity. Obviously, we need to be starting to switch homes towards electricity. Those tools are there. What will probably need to shift is our ability to access that data and understand it at a whole of portfolio level.
So there is a move towards sort of electrification rather than household use of gas in this country. So do you think we could see sort of finance system in the not too distant future where people are getting sort of mortgage discounts for constructing electrified houses rather than houses that are connected to gas and things like at that level?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have just launched an extension to our Clean Energy Home Loan that's using the new Green Star Homes certificate that I guess is an all-electric home. And so we'll be looking then at how we can expand that to, like, how can we combine, our reading of a NATHER certificate to know that a home's all-electric. So that's absolutely going to be a big focus for us in future.
And as a sort of pioneer in this space, do you think there is a bigger role for banks and the banking sector to play? I mean, it's such a key touch point for consumers when they are contemplating buying a home, building a home. Do you think that in the future that there will be more banks offering these kinds of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, since we launched our clean energy home loan 2 years ago, we've seen a lot more green home and green loan products entering the market, which is great. I think Bank Australia, we aim to be out there and trying new things and demonstrating that they work. But if you ultimately want to have success in tackling climate change, we need as many financial institutions as possible to be on board. And look, you're right. It's financial institutions fund a really large proportion of the homes in Australia, so it's a really good way to be able to interact with customers and drive that change.
And just finally, I suppose one of the criticisms we hear, or one of the blockers we hear when we try to pursue more energy efficiency on a large scale, is that consumers don't particularly want this. They're not demanding it. It's not something that sort of builders are being asked for all the time. You've got access to a whole portfolio of people who are sort of taking up these loans. Are they pretty happy with them in your experience? Are they satisfied that they're doing something that's helping themselves as well as helping the country?
Yeah, so I think, Bank Australia's customers do tend to have a really strong focus on sustainability, and they join us for that reason. So the people that are taking up the clean energy home loan at the moment are absolutely interested in reducing their own environmental footprint and pleased with what they're doing.
But one of the criticisms is that this costs too much money. So are they finding that that life is more expensive, or are they finding that there are some savings that they're actually appreciating?
Yeah, look, I think we don't have excellent data on the exact savings that homes have at the moment, but we do know that homes are saving on their mortgages for the period that they've got that discount there. I think also one of the things that we are thinking about in terms of consumer demand is that, so at a high level, as I said, we've got customers joining Bank Australia because they care a lot about sustainability, but converting that interest in sustainability generally to understanding like the specific actions that you can take in your home. And for a lot, it might not be right now, but if we're looking at, say, a 2035 time horizon, when's the next time you're going to switch out a water heater or a stovetop or things like that? Just we really want to focus on providing customers with information and also making it seem attractive and aspirational to be making some of those switches.
Sounds like there's plenty to look forward to. Thanks so much for joining us, Jane.
Thank you.